Question 1. Amphibians can be infected by a group of these organisms called chytrids. Many of these organisms are mycelium, which is a mass branch of Phyllomatous Phi. They include Serum visci, which can be used in brewing and baking, and Alexander Fleming.
Excellent. Fungus.
Correct. 2 brothers from this city built its wall with brute strength and music. When Eteocles refused to step down as king of this city, his brother Polynices raised an army led by 7 men. A king of this city solved the riddle by giving the correct answer of a man causing the Sphinx to commit suicide. That king kills Laius, his father.
Oedipus Rex.
Incorrect. That king kills Laius, his father, and marries Jocasta, his mother, for 10 points. Name this Greek city founded by Cadmus and ruled by Oedipus.
Thebes.
Yes.
Yes. The dragon.
The Lucas function for calculating this curve model as a function of surprise. This curve is governed by the sticky wage, imperfect information, and sticky price models. Oh, geez. In contrast with Keynesian, monetarists believe that it is inelastic and vertical in the long run. This curve can be shocked to the left by political events such as an oil embargo. For 10 points, name this macroeconomic curve for which interest at the equilibrium point with an agitative demand curve. Anyone?
Price.
Incorrect.
Inflation.
Incorrect. The answer is supply curve. It's aggregated curve or supply, or aggregated supply curve. Yeah, trust me, it's terrible. These 3 symphonies by this composer include the text from, Dies Knabe von der Horn. He writes a piece for tenor, alto, and a large orchestra with the text based on Chinese poetry that was named to prevent the curse of the night. His 8th symphony includes the setting of hymn Veen Creator Spiritus and was dedicated to his wife Alma. For 10 points, name this Austrian composer of 9 symphonies, including Resurrection and One of a Thousand. Any takers?
Beethoven.
Incorrect.
Mozart.
Incorrect. The answer is Gustav Mahler.
Oh, Mahler.
For a regular polygon with n sides, the formula for this quantity is derived from the fact that one of these connected vertices to divide the polygon into 9 minus 2 triangles. A regular polygon will tessellate the plane if its value for this quantity is a factor of 360. For a regular polygon with n sides...
Degrees?
Incorrect. For a regular polygon with n sides, it can be calculated as 180 times n minus 360 all over n. It is in 60 degrees for an equilateral triangle and 90 degrees for a square. For 10 points, name this quantity that is complementary to the exterior angle.
Interior angle?
Correct. Question 6. This note's minor key is used for Caesar Frank's only symphony. Jean Saiblus used this note's major key for his 2nd symphony, and its minor key for his violin concerto. This note is a tritone away from A flat. Its major scale has 2 sharps and its key signature. A Baroque piece in this key was written for 3 violins and strictly imitative.
D.
Correct. 2 members of this group, William Hushka and Eric Collison, were killed by police. Joe and Jello could not persuade Major George S. Patton, his comrades, to use resistance against members of this group. Douglas MacArthur commanded the 12th Infantry Regiment against this group. Many of its members camped in Horseville on the Anacostia Flats. For 10 points, name this group disgruntled World War I veterans who staged a march in Washington, D.C. in 1932.
The bonus army?
Correct. The production of scree by freeze-thaw cycles is an example of this process. Desertless can be created by aeolians, I think so, Aeolian, examples of this process. Lichens are biological examples of this process because of the acids they secrete. The most common physical example of this process is thermal expansion. A common chemical example of it is dissolution by carbonated water. For 10 points, name this process that creates soil and occurs before erosion and deposition. Now we're earth science people here. Any takers? The answer is weathering. This denomination's name was coined by Joseph Rutherford at a convention in Columbus, Ohio. It grew out of a non-profit business founded by Charles Taze Russell. Members of this sect attend service at a plainly decorated building called Kingdom's Hall. Members of this denomination refuse to salute national flags or accept blood transfusions.
Jehovah's Witnesses?
Correct. In a novella by this author, the fascist Coppola is shot and killed by Mario. The protagonist of this novel is the author's encounters. The protagonist of this novel by this author encounters Ludovico Settembrini and falls in love with Claudia Schochat while at a Swiss sanatorium. This creator of Hans Castorp wrote a novel in which the writer Gustav von Ochsenbach dies of cholera in the title Italian cities. For 10 points, name the German author of Magic Mountain and Death of Venice. Any takers? The answer is Thomas Mann. Protests in this city were led by Daniel Cohn-Bennett, a member of the Situationalist International. An attempt to end unrest in this city by the Grenell Agreements offered a raise of the minimum wage. After the president fled to Batum, a crisis in it was dealt with by Prime Minister Pompidou. In May of 1968, this city was the site of wildcat strikes and protests from students at Sonneborn. For 10 points, name this capital city of the Fifth Republic. Name this capital city of the Fifth Republic of Charles de Gaulle.
Paris.
Correct. Yeah, that's the ending part is really pretty. A slum in this city sits on a 2 million ton pile of trash nicknamed Smoky Mountain. This city's historical Chinatown, Binando, lies on on the Pasing River. A major road in it is named for former Governor General William Howard Taft. Hemp from the Acaba plant is used to make a type of paper named for the city. Its Malacanang Palace was a presidential residence. For 10 points, name the largest city on Luzon, the capital of the Philippines.
Manila?
Correct.
Oh, sorry. I was like,
A country in this region was created by the Treaty of San Stefano. Wait, yeah, that's right. A second war named for this region begun by King Ferdinand after the first one was ended in 1913. Was ended when the 1913 Treaty of London was forced on the Ottoman Empire. This region was known as the Powder Keg of Europe, and its capital of the peninsula.
The Balkans?
Correct. This poem depicts the white-eyed withering in the face of a man on top of a wagon. In this poem, a substance obscene as cancer comes forth from the froth-corped lungs. This poem describes people drunk with fatigue and deaf even to hoots, who curse through the sludge while bent double like an old beggar. It describes an ecstasy of fumbling as people attempt to fit in clumsy helmets during a gas attack. For 10 points, name this Wilfred Owen poem that takes its title from Horace.
White Stallion?
Incorrect. The answer is Dulce et decorum est.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Where's the horse in that?
So, I don't know.
Horace, not horse.
Oh, in 2015, Xiaomi announced a plan to compete with the market segment currently led by this company by manufacturing a device called the Mi. This company, founded by James Park, produces a scale called the Aria. Its original variation include the Zip, Flex, and Force, as well as the more recent Charge and Surge. Its products compete with Jawbone Up and Nike's Fuel Band. For 10 points, name this company that produces the most popular wearable
Fitbit.
Yes. Alright, question 1A for Edison. In what Ambrose Bryce short story does Peyton Farquhar imagine escaping his execution on the tidal structure?
I don't know. What's the question?
The gallows.
Incorrect. Lee?
Leaves.
The Tower of London.
Incorrect. The answer is an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge.
Oh.
Bridge?
Bridge. One of them.
Are you really
Lee, 1B. What Roman orator revealed the Catalan conspiracy and was killed for denouncing Mark Antony in his Philippus? I don't know how to pronounce that name. Not a Latin person.
Like a what? You want to spell it?
Yeah, it's spelled Philippics.
Chili seed.
Is that your final answer?
Why not? Sure.
It's incorrect.
Cato the Elder.
Incorrect. Cyrus? I'm not Cyrus, I'm Cicero.
Cicero.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cicero, sorry. That was Latin, James.
Really? Take that strong.
What? No, it wasn't good at Latin. Edison 2A. The murder of Admiral Gaspar de Coligny by supporters of the Duke of Guise began what 1572 massacre of the Hunger Pots in Paris? Oh, I'm sorry, Huguenots, sorry. Jesus Christ. We should know this.
You have an answer? No answer.
Lee? Answer? Answer? Alright, the answer is St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre.
I stay in.
Okay, next round. He
I stay in.
Lee, 2B. What English verb is okumar in Turkish, ligere in Latin, and lire in French?
No.
To French?
Read.
Yeah, to read.
Correct. Edison 3A, this is a 20-second calculation. What is the reference angle for an arc measuring 28 pi over 3 radians? What is the reference angle for an arc measuring 28 pi over 3 radians?
Pi over 3.
Incorrect.
4 pi over 3.
Incorrect. The answer is 60 degrees.
That is pi over 3.
Yeah.
Dispute. Pi over 3 is equal to 60 degrees.
They don't give the radian answer, but
It's
I
accepted.
guess they should. Okay.
My man.
Lee, this is a 20-second calculation. Matt takes a 1,000-mile tricycle ride, stopping occasionally to swap one of his trike's wheels with a spare tire, so that each of his 4 tires gets equal wear. How many miles does each tire used for? Matt takes a 1,000-mile tricycle ride, stopping occasionally to swap one of the trike's wheels with a spare tire, so that each of the 4 tires gets equal wear. How many miles is each tire used for?
Tricycle has 3 wheels.
Yeah, I know.
So just a moment. Because this could be confusing. Will the answer be dependent on 3 wheels or 4 wheels? Because if it's a typo in the 3, it's going to be a different answer than it's having the 4.
I'm gonna call time on this, but it's going to be 4 wheels,
Yeah.
and 3 of them are used currently on the trike.
So there's 3 wheels that are on the trike, and there's the additional spare tire.
Okay.
They say 400?
Incorrect. Edison?
750?
Correct. Edison 4A. The margin between streams and land is a zone depicted by what term derived from the Latin for riverbanks?
Peninsula?
Incorrect. Lee?
No.
Riparian.
No answer.
The answer is riparian, or riparian, R-I-P-A-R-I-A-N.
Okay, we're that.
Alright, lead 4B. The tangent function is conventionally defined between what two x-axis points because they are the first points on each side of the y-axis where the tangent's vertical asymptotes appear. Do you have an answer?
Pi over 2 and pi.
What'd you say?
Pi over 2 and pi.
Incorrect. Edison?
Pi is negative pi.
Correct. 5A for Edison. What Jewish moneylender attempted to acquire a pound of flesh as collateral from Antonio in Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice? Do you have an answer?
The first?
Shlomo?
Incorrect. Lee?
Differ 2.
Goldberg.
Incorrect.
You're amazing.
The answer is Shylock.
I wasn't that.
5B for Lee. The Rainbow Bridge by Bifrost is guarded by what Norse god of light who will blow the, oh my god, it's the hammer from Thor, Jarlhorn, when Ragnarok begins?
Handel.
Correct.
Handel.
Alright, 6A for, I swear to god, since you don't get this right. In January 2015, the Virginia Senate voted to ban the adoption of what controversial set of English and math curriculum standards used in 42 states?
Dude.
Common Core?
Correct.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah, I would have helped you go.
Lee 6B. Ceres, Pluto, and Eris are all categorized as what type of astronomical objects that has not cleared its gravitational orbit?
Dwarf planets.
Correct. 7A for Edison. What American poet experimented with unusual punctuations and typography in poems such as My Sweet Old Etc. and Anyone Lived in a Pretty How Town?
Sylvia Plath.
Incorrect.
Glass.
Incorrect. E.E. Cummings is the correct answer. Lee 7B. The main setting of both the Middle and Parks and Recreations are in what U.S. state?
I wish I watched TV. Pennsylvania.
Incorrect.
Don't say it out loud.
Yeah, it is.
Answer please.
Just California.
California.
Incorrect. The answer is Indiana.
Damn, Indiana.
Edison, 8A, this is a 30-second calculation question. Line segment AB has endpoints at 6 and 2, I mean 6 comma 2, and 2 comma 5. In the line segment that is reflected about the y-axis, then rotated 90 degrees clockwise, about the points negative 6 comma 2, the new endpoints are negative 6 comma 2, and what point? Oh yeah, I gotta do it again. The line segment AB has endpoints at 6 comma 2 and 2 comma 5. If the line segment reflected about the y-axis, then rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the point negative 6 2, and the new endpoint about the point negative 6 2, the new endpoints are negative 6 2 and what point?
Negative 2, negative 5.
Incorrect.
Negative 5, 2.
Incorrect. The answer is negative 3, negative 2. 8B, Lee, this is a 30-second calculation question. A coin is flipped 5 times and comes up heads once. How many more times likely is this to happen if the coin is fair? How more likely is this to happen if the coin is fair than if the coin is unfair, with the probability of heads equal to 3/4? If a coin is flipped 5 times and comes up heads once, how many times more likely is this to happen if the coin is fair than if the coin is unfair, with a probability of heads equal to 3/4?
1/256.
Incorrect. Edison?
1/9.
Incorrect. 32 over 3 or 10 and 2/3. 9A Edison. Life magazine photographer Alfred Agenstead is best known for his image of sailors performing what action during the VJ Day celebration in New York?
Kissing?
Correct. The 9B. What country in South America formerly had the word British in its name and still has English as its official language? Answer, please.
You have an answer?
British Brazil.
Incorrect. Edison?
Guyana.
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 Correct.
Thank you.
10A for Edison. What term which can mean perpendicular references the force counteracting gravity on an object placed on the surface?
Normal.
Correct. Lee 10B. At what 732 battle did forces under Charles Marshall and Ode of Aquitaine defeat an invading Umayyad army led by Abdel al-Rahman?
You know you're on camera. You know?
Don't know.
Okay.
Edison?
Tours.
Correct. This man posted a link to Yale's course syllabus titled Perception to support his memory of a professor's hoax about burning class exams. Many stories told in his autobiography, Gifted Hands, have been questioned, such as the claim that he once stabbed a friend with...
Ben Carson.
Yes. Defining the object for which this quantity is calculated as two 2D vectors yields this quantity as half the determinant of the cross product. A way to calculate this quantity is to multiply side lengths and divide by 4 times the circumradius. This quantity is calculated using the semi-perimeter inheritance formula. It can be calculated as half 2 sides length times a sine of the angle between them. For 10 points, name this quantity conventionally...
Area?
Correct. Question 3. This god gives life to Ask and Embla shortly after teaming up with his brother Vile and V to take down Ymer. He is accompanied by a pair of ravens that bring him news.
Odin.
Correct. Question 4. A poem by this author notes that heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. This author ends a poem with speaking, wondering, do I wake or sleep? An object in a poem of his, is addressed as Sylvian Historian and an unravished bridge of quietness. That poem concludes that beauty is truth and truth is beauty. He wrote about a light-winged dryad of the trees in an ode addressing to a bird. For 10 points, name this poet of Ode to Gerasiam, Greciam, Urn, and Ode to Nightingale, or Ode to a Nightingale.
Keats?
Correct.
Oh, yes.
Question 5. Isotopically purifying this element is commonly performed via gaseous diffusion of its hexafluoride. This element is the main ore of pitch blende and is processed into yellow cake.
Uranium.
Correct. Intergrowth of monogonite and this mineral form chalcedony. This mineral displays very strong piezoelectricity and lies at the very bottom of Bowen's reaction series. Catalyst sedimentary rocks mostly consist of feldspar and this mineral.
Quartz.
Correct. During this leader's tenure, hundreds were injured in riots protesting the community charge or a poll tax. The Brighton Hotel bombing almost killed this politician. This politician became prime minister after the Winter of Discontent. And
Thatcher.
correct. In this novella, the protagonist is nursed back to health by an old woman who reveals that she once had her buttocks removed to feed some starving men. At the end of this
Candide.
correct.
Thank you.
This orientation of stereochemical centers in these molecules is referred to tacticity. Lewis diagrams for these molecules use large parentheses with lowercase n's at the bottom right. Common ways of making them are a step growth and chain growth mechanism. Common artificial examples of these molecules include Teflon, nylon, and plastics.
Polymers.
Correct. It is not in Africa, but this country was subjected to the op-ed "What Did I Find in Africa" by Ambassador Joseph Wilson, who claimed that Scooty Libby and the vice president blew the cover of his wife, a CIA agent, in retaliation. After events in this country, a speech was given aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln in front of a mission accomplished banner by President Bush. For 10 points, name this Middle Eastern country.
Iraq.
Correct.
Accomplishment.
The malaria-resistant Taru people live in this country's inner terrain valleys, and the Bagmati is the largest of the 8 rivers to flow through the capital. This country's Sargamoth National Park contains Khumbu, Khumbu ice falls. Ever since the Tenzing Norgay assisted Edmund Hillary on a climb in this country, its ethnic...
Nepal.
Correct. At the start of this play, a man calls a woman a little squirrel and teases her for making Christmas gifts. Near the end of this play, Owen says, "During 8 whole years, we have never exchanged one serious word." A bank manager in this play angrily berates his wife after discovering she is in debt to an employee, Krongstad. It concludes with the female protagonist slamming the door on her husband, Torvald, and her children. For 10 points, name this play by Nora Helmer, written by Henrik Ibsen.
Peer Gynt.
What?
Peer Gynt.
Incorrect. Anything from Edison? The answer is A Dollhouse. Question 13. After executing a group of people led by Pete Ruffton, soldiers from this empire massacred about 250 people near its modern-day city of Wienen. 2 competitors of this throne's empire died at the Battle of the Bloody River. Its soldiers used assegai spears and were trained in the buffalo horn formation. This empire lost the Battle of
Zoom.
Correct. Oh, I see. Don't play Civ.
The buffalo horn.
In a book by this author, Mother Abigail telepathically directs other characters to meet her in Boulder, Colorado. Several of this author's books are set in fictional towns of Derry. His novel Under the Dome was adapted into a TV show. Antagonists created by this author include Pennywise the Clown.
Stephen King.
Correct. This composer invented the term tone poem to describe pieces where he wrote such as Les Prelude and Mazeppa, Mazeppa. He depicted the devil during his violin at the start of his Mezzo Waltz No. 1. This composer wrote some very difficult pieces for piano, such as Transcendental Etude. This piece, the pieces Un Sopro, Sospiro, and La Campanella, as well as Le Bestrom, No. 3, and 19 pieces based on Magyar folk melodies. For 10 points, name this composer of the Hungarian Rhapsodies. Any takers? The answer is Frank Liszt.